Hello preppers and homesteaders. I'm going to go out over my micro Mountain Man bug out bag, and I'm wearing it right now. A lot of people think you got to carry all this gear, all this equipment, and you need to remember ounces equals pounds and pounds equals pain. The more weight you carry, the less distance and slower you will go. And also remember, if you get a big bag, you will end up filling it. It's just human nature. So the idea is to go light and fast. I used to do a lot of mountaineering, and you would just literally carry just the basic essentials, and that is it. So I want to go over this kit that I have and just show you what little you really need to get out and bug out. So thanks again, and at the very end of this video I will review this bag just to give you a little bit more details on it, but I want to show you what you can carry in this and just how little you really need. And disclaimer in case I forget later in the video, I forgot one item in here. I usually carry a little credit card size Fresnel lens, and I did not put it in here because I used it for something else, and so I apologize about that, but let's get into that right now. You got to remember, this is not going to be comfortable. This is going to be to get to point A to B as quick as possible, and you should factor in maximum 48 hours. If you need to bug out more than that, it's just not realistic. And this is on foot. If I was going to try to bug out by vehicle, I'd be carrying a lot more equipment. This is just a on foot A to B. So let's go over this right now. I'm going to take this off. Now the good thing about this pack, I love to hike in chest packs that are mounted up here. But if you need to go into populated areas, they look a little tactical. They look a little, you know what you're doing kind of thing. And you kind of want to blend in. So I like just OD, just earth tone colors. I'm not gonna, stand out too much, but this thing can also be mounted crossbody, which is very popular, and everybody wears fanny packs nowadays. So what I have in here, just strapped on there, quick access, is one of the smallest and lightest. It's a Princeton Tech, just a small headlamp. On the top here, I've got a tourniquet in there, a cat tourniquet in a separate pouch, because this pack does have its limitations, and I've got it packed down, and it's actually not that heavy, and it's actually still pretty comfortable. So I'm going to start with this very front pouch right here, and I've got a Leatherman tool, a Gerber. I was gonna have like a Silcox key and a bunch of specialized tools. This kind of covers the knife, covers the saw, covers a set of pliers. Just have some kind of multi-tool. And it could be, I've got a couple that I got from like Aldi that I really like. So we got a flashlight, headlamp, tool. Okay, that's it for that pouch. Then this little front pouch. You got another little pouch. I've got my fire kit. It has, I did another video on this, but I've got a, what do they call it? A ferro striker on the back, 2 of them, and I've got a little tin in there of fire starter, because fire wouldn't be a bad thing to have if needed. If I got to spend the night out with minimal other supplies, fire kit's pretty nice. Then I have an Israeli bandage to go along with the tourniquet, stop the bleed, super minimal. I have tourniquet, Israeli bandage. This can just double as a emergency bandage without the need of the tourniquet if it's not that bad, but it is something. Then I have the GI triangular bandage. It's an OD green, big cloth, folded in like a triangular pattern. You could use it as an arm sling. You could use it as a makeshift tourniquet. You could use it as a handkerchief, a bandana, go all Rambo. It's just got so many uses. You can use it as a face mask. So it's just a multi-useful, very small, very light little product. And that is it for that pouch. Now we're gonna go over the big main compartment. Bottle of water. You can make it pretty far on a bottle of water. And as you can see, I've drank some of this already. This is 16 ounces of water. Then, to go with that, I have my Membrane Solutions water filter, which can attach to that bottle of water. Once I'm done with that bottle of water, I can either you can kind of flip these caps around, it's kind of neat. But I could either use that bottle and scoop dirty water and then squeeze it into the filter. And I could also mama bird water out of here and spit it back into my bottle if I know I'm going to be nowhere near water. My area, there's water everywhere. It's just not clean water. So a good filter is not a bad thing to have. Then I have the smallest little hat that I own. It's a grid fleece. I think it's like Helikon-Tex or something. I should take the patch off though, because the patch actually adds weight. And you know, they're saying ounces equal pounds equals pain. That should come off. Then I have one little packet of Manuka Honey. This is awesome stuff. You could use it as a little energy snack when needed. You could use it to pack wounds. You could use it for all kinds of stuff. You know, you get chapped lips, whatever. You know, you burn yourself. It's just awesome stuff. Manuka Honey. And these are little, I did a video on this, put the link, I'll do it again. But this stuff, I finally found it in small packages because I usually have a big tube of it. Then I have Rescue Essentials Hypothermia Wrap. It is more or less a Mylar space blanket. It's got the silver inside of it and OD green on the other side. So you can kind of make a makeshift hide, but it is made out of a different material, unlike Mylar, that doesn't crinkle. I mean, if you see me, I can bend it. You're hearing the plastic bag, but the sack itself does not crinkle and it doesn't tear easy. And these are pretty inexpensive. I think I sell them at my store for like $6 or something like that. Pretty awesome product. Then an oddball item. This is an old item. I don't even know if you can even get it anymore, but something similar to it. As you can see, I'm wearing a hoodie. I've got a hood on it. It's fleece. It's pretty warm. The wind goes right through it. If it rains, I'll eventually wet out and get cold. This thing, I'll just show you because it's pretty awesome. I will have to clean the term of what my friends and everybody calls it, but they call it the prophylactic jacket. And it's really easy to get it inside it out, but I've used this on almost every hike out here. It is a little hard to put on when it's windy because it's so light. It weighs almost nothing. And I've got a hood on it. And with this will cut the wind. It is water resistant. It will shed light rain. Eventually heavy rain, yeah, you will get wet, but you could use your hypothermia wrap over you and make a makeshift poncho. So that is one item, but even now I put this on and it makes me much warmer because it cuts the wind almost 100%. It is slightly breathable. It weighs nothing. It was made by the North Face and it was originally designed to clip onto a carabiner when rock climbing. So I've taken this thing all over the place climbing, from like the Grand Teton, Mount Rainier. Got a picture of me on Mount Rainier with it on. It is awesome. And as you can see, it weighs like a couple ounces and it folds down super tiny. So let's go over the last few items. In this main pack, I've got one meal bar, and these are really good. They don't upset my stomach. They're all natural. Pro meal bar. Remember, the idea is not comfort. You have to have water, so you got a water bottle, some filter, and then a little bit of food, plus the honey. And then that is the main compartments. And then there is one more back pocket. Spare magazine. And a little 380. Because you do need some defense from two-legged and four-legged since we are rural. So hopefully that was helpful in helping you set up a micro bug out bag. Like I said, this Maxpedition bag is super burly, super strong. You could overload it and you're not gonna bust out the zippers. It is heavyweight material. It's bomb-proof. Not, just full disclaimer, it is not truly bomb-proof. It is just the term bomb-proof. it is just a super good bag that kind of blends in. One thing I didn't show that I probably would do is I have a couple patches. I think I talked about it in the, I'll talk about it later on in the, when I go over the whole features of this, but I have a couple that look like Patagonia, but it says I hate people, but it looks like the Patagonia logo, and another one that's like North Face, but it says aim for the face. I would probably stick one of those on the front that's kind of very close in color. That way, when I have to go through civilized areas and I see people and stuff, they'll just look at it and say like, oh yeah, that's just a Patagonia, or you know, their brain will see the logo and just familiarize it like, oh, it's just an outdoorsy, you know, fanny pack. This guy's, you know, not carrying much. And the other thing too, which is good about a micro bug out system like this, is people, you might have traveled a long distance on foot because you're fast and light. People might not know where you're from. There was one time in Oregon, I was backpacking, I had an 11-pound pack for 3 days. I was deep in this wilderness and I ran into these campers and they had humongous packs and they saw me and they're like, are you day hiking? Where are you coming from? And I was like, oh no, I've been out here for 2 days at this point. And they were just like shocked. So it's kind of the same thing. You're gonna run into people. It may be your second day, hopefully no more than 2 days. And they're gonna be like, oh, this guy's just must have walked, you know, a couple miles. You know, he's just got a fanny pack. Hopefully this was helpful. Hopefully this is one of those items that is never needed, but something this small, you can put this in your vehicle, strap this around your headrest on your vehicle and just keep it in your vehicle and always have it ready. You know, minus the, you don't wanna leave the handgun in there all the time. That should be on you as a person. And ideally, I would have a handgun on me, but if I didn't, I could just keep it in here because this holds it pretty good. But just a good example of a micro, small bug out system that could work everywhere. And you may need to just tweak some items. Like I am in the Ozarks, the mountains, but there is rural areas around here with towns, so I still want to blend in. There's tourists in this area, so in the city you may want to change a couple things around, you know, maybe a different color if they make it or something, you know, just your outfit. You know, OD green blends in great out here. Maybe in the city you want something gray, you know, black, you know, just something that blends in a little bit better, dark blue, something. But hopefully that is helpful, and you should always have comfortable shoes on. I'm 90% of the time I'm in my hiking boots. If I'm working, I'm in cowboy boots, but if I'm gonna bug out on foot, it's gonna be my hiking shoes. I also always carry, in addition to my concealed carry piece, I carry my little Maxpedition Platy. It's just a little pocket thing in there, but I've got a flashlight, a knife, and a fire starter, and some, the Fresnel lens is probably not in there. Normally it is in there too. I used it for something, so I need to put them in both. And one other item that I should probably add in there is a pen. You never know, I might need to leave a note somewhere or take notes myself. I'm gonna go over today the Maxpedition Keystone Versipack. I'm gonna do the unboxing. Actually, it just comes in a bag as usual. Good Maxpedition quality, but right off the bat, I will say, wow, this thing is big, big. It is a good size pack, but this can be worn as a fanny pack, but it can also be worn as a crossbody pack. And right off the bat, looking at it, you can see it has hook panel right here, and then also one on the side over here on each side. That's pretty cool. And then it does have some PALS webbing right on the top, so you can attach MOLLE type attachments on there. And a lot of people are like, what would you attach on the top of this? If you're going to use this as a first aid kit, you could put a tourniquet pouch, would fit perfectly there. If you're hiking in the woods, you can put a bear spray canister right there. So it's pretty useful. And other fanny packs that I've had, they put this webbing on the bottom so it would just dangle and you'd have to reach underneath. This, you would just reach straight down. I like it. Now, as you can see, like I said, the size of this thing, it's pretty good size. But let's go over the features. As usual, Maxpedition stuff. This one included is made in Vietnam, so it will love you long time. It is really good material. Kadura heavy, like really heavyweight. Like this is probably, I'm a fanny pack aficionado. Like I love fanny packs. And I don't think I own one that's as heavy duty material as this. I have to look, but this is either, it feels heavier than 500, but it's probably like 1,000 weight Kadura, but thick and burly. Like this thing will last you for, even the waist strap. This is like seatbelt webbing. And then, you know, heavy duty, you know, buckles on here. This is very heavy duty. So features wise on the front, all the access points are double zippers. Oops, I got that. There's a little, this zipper's having a hard time because I just zipped the, here we go. It would help if I do that. This was crossing over, little tag on there, I can just rip it off. So this little front pouch, I was looking at it and I'm like, I almost wonder, not quite big enough for a PMag, a 20 rounder would fit in there. But still a very good sized little front pouch. You've got that one, then you've got another one. And if you look on the side here, you can see this is your front, and then you have this other one right there. This is your other one. I do like how they put gray material on the inside. And then this is a pretty deep pocket. Now this one, I'm just curious, it's probably not still, but yeah, you look at that. You could fit a PMag 30 rounder in there, in this other pouch behind it. And then look at that, you got another pocket right there. Hopefully you can see that. So you've got this internal divider in there, and then this one right here. Just kind of feeling around, see if there's any hidden compartments or any little bungees or anything. So that's pretty good. And then behind that you have, this is the big main compartment right here. Double zippers again, and I like the paracord zipper pulls. So this pouch is the big one. This one you could fit a complete IFAC. It's got, if you look on this side of it, it has mesh pockets, 2 of them right there. Hopefully you can see that right there. It's all mesh. Trying to get you a good view in there because it's big. It's very, very big. Like I'm trying to think of what you could probably fit like a football in there. I mean, it's big. And then it just has the Maxpedition tag, American design, made in Vietnam, as stated before. And then, okay, that's interesting. So look at this. And then you have this flap right there. Hopefully you can see that. And then behind it is soft loop. So you could actually, inside this pocket, I do have, I'm using this as this is a M&P with an optic on it. It's the compact, so it's about the size of a Glock, and it's empty, no magazine in it, but it's about the size of a Glock 19. This could fit in that pocket pretty easily. So, and you can close it up in there. A little bit snug fit with the optic. In the main compartment, it just gets swallowed up, which I have these little trigger guards on some of my guns, so that way I could tie this into like a chest pack and then you can just pull the gun out and it protects the trigger. This one's got a thumb safety on it though, so I wouldn't even use it on this. You could just drop it in there. It's gonna fit in there really good. Now this does have one more pocket on the back, and the back side, it's the opposite. There's hook on the side facing away from you, and then the side against your body, there's no hook. But I feel like this would work really good to hold a handgun. And it's a bit, this probably is not the best handgun with the optic on there and then suppressor height sights. It probably would fit if I had it barely fits, as you can see. Like I could still use it, but if it didn't have the optic and those suppressor sights, it would probably fit pretty good in there. My P365 or anything smaller would fit in there really good. But I feel like that'd be a pretty sweet, you know, when I'm wearing it, I could just reach in there, pull out. So that's a pretty sweet spot. The back pouch is not as deep too. You can kind of see on the back side, the stitch line. So it only goes that far, and then the main pouch does go a little deeper. So I'm assuming the main pouch is, if you're going to conceal carry, you would use that one, which makes sense. And then this back one, you could just put some small essentials. Maybe you could Velcro in like a magazine or something like that. But man, this thing is just very well built. Like you can just feel it. And there's padding in here too on this back wall. Like you can feel the padding back there. So this is just a really cool way to carry stuff. And nowadays everybody wears fanny packs, so they're pretty, or crossbody packs. They're pretty common. I have one gripe with this, and it's a not even really a gripe. I wish they would offer it in other colors, but black is probably the most gray, no, not gray man, but gray man would be gray, but sometimes black is gray man. It would just be fun to have some other colors. But I like the fact that it could be used as an IFAK, so I could put all my first aid stuff in there and still take it hiking. And even in this front pouch, I could fit, because this almost fits in even this front pouch, and this is a pretty good sized gun. Usually when I go hiking, I carry like a P365 or something smaller, because the likelihood that I'll need it is pretty low. We've only had, well, I shouldn't say we've only had, but we've only had the one bear fatality in my area in it was last year, but it was the first one in many years. I always take it with, but the likelihood of needing it, using it is pretty low, so I usually try to carry the smallest yet useful one that will fit. But hopefully that's helpful. Thanks again, and until next time, bye. Till next time, bye. Good camera. I'm still waiting for the temperature in my water to be perfect. It's still warming up. I'm gonna end it there. Thanks. Like and subscribe. I gotta support this shirt because it was a gift. I love it. I do. So thanks again. Bye.